How is it that we have someone who is the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, that we allow him so much space to say so much nonsense that we don't hold him accountable for? And I thought what was really interesting, and I'm not going to get his name right, but the guy who was sort of embedded with the Oath Keepers, he said, I saw it, I felt it, I knew what they were capable of. And if you don't do something, it's going to happen again. And we have to call it what it is. And these people are racist. They are, they want to be a militia. They wanted to fight, and they wanted to have lists of people that they wanted to go after to kill. And I think that for a president of the United States to be, embedded in any kind of way with groups like that should be terrifying for this country. And for now, the president or anyone to say, well, no, he really didn't mean that. And no, he really didn't intend for them to come to Washington. You can listen to all the folks who were around him, telling him and advising him that he should not do this. And yet he did. And he cast aside his advisors who were, Pat Cipollone and others who are his White House advisors for this crazy group of kooky people like Cindy Powell and Rudy Giuliani and the My Pillow guy and the guy from Overstock. I mean, who does that? Who does that? And what is even more amazing to me is that after these hearings, we still have people with Trump signs and banners and bumper stickers on their cars. We still have people like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, these folks who still have not turned away. And I just feel like if Republicans at this point today don't stand up and say, this is wrong, I am really quite bewildered at who they are.
They did a really good job today of giving those people who maybe still aren't convinced or still are clinging, to this. They gave them the permission structure to say, okay, I was wrong, especially when they said, consider how many millions of Americans. They were persuaded to believe this when his advisors didn't even believe this, when his advisors even told him, this isn't right, this isn't true. And the American people who bought this, they didn't have all that information that Trump had.
Right.
He knew it.
He knew it.
It was all planned. He knew. He put, he did exactly what he wanted to do.
What does it take for these people who are still running around saying the election is stolen? What does it take? And I also find that if we have, what Merrick Garland does is not my business. But when people are on TV and they still say, well, I just don't know, he's president, blah, 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 blah. All I have to do is a couple of things. First, I just have to put in my head, well, let's see if that was President Obama. Let's just see if it was any person of any color, what would happen? And I know what would happen. And so when I see them just giving him passes after passes because, he wasn't sure that they told him, no, you kicked your White House attorneys aside because, as your son-in-law said, you thought they were just whining when they were trying to tell you reasonable facts and evidence. You kicked them aside and brought in the nut crew. And then now you want to tell us that you're not responsible because, you took advice from folks that you shouldn't have. And I just find this all to be so disconcerting. And I find it to be particularly hard if something doesn't happen to demonstrate that no one is above the law. So the question is, what do we do to protect our country from a tyrant? And I love the ending where Congressman Raskin said, let me tell you what our democracy is, and let me tell you what it is to have a government that's tyrannical, an authoritarian government. He said, don't accept political outcomes, so they don't take the results, and then they embrace political violence. And I think that that's what's so scary, is that we have evidence that says that the president of the United States at the time, Donald Trump, knew that people were armed. They had food there that would supply them for months. So they were prepared, and he knew it. And yet he still turned those people over to go to the Capitol. It is unacceptable and unconscionable. And if Republicans don't come out I don't care if you're a Trump Republican. I don't care if you're a GOP. I don't care who you are. If you have Republican beside your name and you're not willing to stand up at this point, then you do not deserve to be in anyone's office. And the only thing that can happen is we will have to be steadfast enough. We will have to be vigilant enough. We will have to scream loud enough to let every single person understand why it's so important to vote. So that, as I say to my sister, we vote them out.